He doesn't watch the clock. He measures time and choices in the things he walk away from and the ones he chose to keep. The bar is nearly empty, but that suits him just fine, because silence reveals more truth than conversation ever could. He learned patience the hard way, watching loud men lose control, watching ambition burn bright and fade like cheap neon lights. So now he waits before speaking. He'll listen before deciding, because a calm mind outlives the noise of the moment. Some men chase the night, some men fight the night, but the wise one just move through it. But the road ahead will know exactly who walked it. Some nights pass like strangers, some nights leave a mark, but every man remembers the night he met the dark, the night the truth arrived without a warning sign. The night he saw the difference between noise and peace of mind. He sat there with the candle, watching smoke dissolve, realizing every battle didn't have to be resolved. The years behind him whispered through the rhythm of the blues. Sometimes losing arguments is how a man can choose. There was a night he understood what silence really means. The calm beneath the surface of the life he used to lead. There was a night he understood what patience really shows, that wisdom doesn't shout, it simply simply learns and grows. And somewhere in that quiet bar, a different man stood up. There's a bar beneath the skyline where the candlelight burns low, and a man sits in the corner watching everything he knows. He don't rush the passing hours, he don't chase the fading crowd, just a gentleman in silence, where the music plays out loud. Years ago he loved too reckless, spoke too soon and trusted wrong. Now his calm is built on patience and the wisdom of the strong. Every glass reflects a story, every chord recalls the past. But a man who learns from silence finds a peace that's built to last. Oh, midnight gentleman tonight, in the quiet amber light, doesn't need to say a word, still his presence can be heard. Midnight gentleman tonight, midnight gentleman tonight, watching life through wiser eyes. Every scar became a lesson, every loss a quiet pride. Soon he'll stand and leave the building, fade into the empty street, like a shadow no one notices, with a calm that feels complete. Midnight gentleman tonight, in the quiet amber light, doesn't need to say a word, still his presence can be heard. Midnight gentleman, midnight gentleman tonight, watching life through wiser eyes. Every scar became a lesson, every loss a quiet pride. The night as gentlemen, even when the crowd forget. There's a moment in the evening when a man decides to go, not from anger, not from weakness, just because he finally knows some rule never held his future. Some people never change. So he falls a night around him and disappears again. He don't slam the door behind him, he don't leave a bitter word, because dignity is louder than the anger people heard. Every step away from chaos, every mile beneath the sky is another quiet victory for a man who chose goodbye. A gentleman leaves quietly, no drama in his stride, just the calm of understanding and the truth he can't deny. A gentleman leaves quietly when the story's run its course, 'cause walking out in silence is sometimes the strongest force. Years from now they might remember that he vanished overnight, but they'll never know the reasons that were written in that night. Just another calm departure under streetlights soft and dim, where the city kept his secret and the road welcomed him in. Some goodbyes are whispered to the empty midnight air. dark 12 an hour ago, but the city's still awake. Somewhere someone's chasing glory, somewhere someone's losing faith. I've been sitting by the window, watching headlights drift away, thinking about every road that almost made me stay. You can spend a life explaining why you chose the path you did, or you can walk into the darkness where the truth was always hid. There are choices made in daylight, and the ones the night demands, but the real ones shape your future when nobody understands. After midnight decisions carry farther than the day. Every quiet resolution shows a man a different way. After midnight decisions, when the noise has finally died, that's when men discover who still stands inside their pride. Now the night is nearly over, but the answer's finally clear. Some roads only open up when the world can't interfere. After midnight decisions carry farther than the day. Every quiet resolution shows a man a different way. After midnight decisions, when the noise has finally died, that's when men discover who still stands inside their pride. Some men stay and argue, some men stay and bleed. Some men think persistence is the only thing they need. But wisdom has a different voice, a softer kind of say. It teaches men the discipline of walking far away. He once believed in fighting for every fading flame, but the years showed him a truth hidden inside the game. Not every door deserves a knock, not every war is right. Sometimes strength is knowing when to disappear at night. That's the quiet art of walking away. No anger, no defense, just a calm understanding of life and consequence. That's the quiet art of walking away, where dignity survives And the peace that follows silence is the greatest win in life. The door closes behind him. The street welcomes his pace, and the night itself respects the calm upon his face. Lights are low inside the bar. A slow guitar plays soft and deep. Candle shadows on the table, while the restless fall asleep. A gentleman sits in the corner with a glass he barely drinks, watching life through quiet patience. Listen more than what he thinks. There were nights he tried to argue, tried to prove that he was right. But the years have strange ways teaching what is worth another fight. He's the man who chose quiet when the noise began to grow, when the world kept chasing thunder. He preferred the undertow. He's a man who chose quiet, walking slow beneath the stars, leaving pride behind the doorway of 1,000 crowded bars. Time can humble out ambition. Time can bend a stubborn mind, turning restless young believers into men who move with time. Now he listens to the piano like a story in the air. Every note reminds his memory of a man still sitting there. He's the man who chose quiet when the noise began to grow, when the world kept chasing Street lights glowing soft and gold, and the calm inside his footsteps is worth more than being bold. There's a man beneath the skyline, walking slow through city rain. No one knows the storms he carries, no one feels the weight of pain. He once stood among the loud ones, chasing dreams that burn too fast. Now he moves through empty avenues, letting silence hold the past. Every promise carved in memory, every lesson carved in bone. Build a calm that walked beside him. Through the night he walks alone. He don't argue with the darkness, he don't beg the world to see that a quiet kind of courage is the rarest kind to be. A man who walks alone at night under dim and distant lights doesn't need the crowd to stay, he already found his way. A man who walks alone at night with a heart that learned control, carries storms the world can't see deep inside a silent soul. Years from now the streets will change, different faces, different names, but the night will still remember every quiet step he made. He just nods and keeps on moving through the glow of passing cars, knowing silence is a language spoken best beneath the stars. A man who walks alone tonight under dim and distant light doesn't need the crowd to stay, he already found his way. A man who walks alone tonight with a heart that learned control, carries storms the world can't see deep inside a silent soul. There's a gentle way of leaving, that no anger understands, where a man simply grows quiet and removes his steady hands. No slammed doors or broken voices, no demand to be explained, just the calm of understanding. Some things cannot remain. He once fought to keep the moment, once believed that love could stay. But the wisdom born from silence showed a softer kind of way. So he learned to move with dignity through the dim and fading light, like a gentleman who knows how to disappear at night. There's a gentle way of leaving, where the quiet man survives. There's a gentle way of leaving, where their dignity arrives. There's a gentle way of leaving, without bitterness or blame, just a calm of understanding. Life is more than winning games. Soon the door will close behind him, and the street will take his name, but the peace inside his heartbeat will forever stay the same. There's a gentle way of leaving, only silent men can know, where the strongest kind of courage is the strength to simply go. Quiet of a man, the danger of quick anger, the cost of careless words, and the weight of unfinished thoughts. They have watched enough life to see how easily noise disguises weakness. In a dim corner of the bar, a man studies the room like a reader returning to an old familiar book. He's seen the same characters before, the loud dreamers, the restless fighters, the ones who believe the night belongs to them. But he also knows the night eventually belongs to silence. understand patience because they have waited. They understand loss because they have carried it. They understand distance because sometimes walking away is the only honorable move. There was a time he believed every battle must be answered, every insult must be corrected, every misunderstanding explained. Now he knows better. Some things deserve silence, some people deserve distance, and some nights deserve nothing but calm. Quiet men understand. They understand the strength of restraint, the dignity of composure, and the strange peace that arrives after pride finally sits down. Quiet men understand why silence is sometimes the final answer. The piano fades into the evening like a memory growing thin. Candlelight along the counter lets the deeper night begin. Every chair holds someone's story, every glass remembers pain. But tonight the room grows softer, like the calm after the rain. There's a man beside the window, watching headlights drift away. He's not chasing old tomorrows, he's just letting time replay all the choices he once questioned, all the words he never said, built the quiet understanding that now lives inside his head. When the room falls quiet, truth begins to breathe. When the room falls quiet, a man can finally see that the loudest roads behind him never let him hold strength he needed most was learning to walk alone. Outside, taxis pass like whispers, and the moon hangs soft and low. But the calm inside his chest tonight is something he now knows. When the room falls quiet and the music disappears, a man can hear the wisdom hidden underneath the years. The last light on the bar burns low. Soft gold on an empty glass. Outside, the city moves too fast. Inside, the night moves slow. A gentleman sits without speaking, like a man who's already decided. Some things are better carried quietly than explained to a crowded room. He remembers the years when he argued, when every truth had to be loud, when pride walked ahead of wisdom and silence felt like defeat. But time has its own instruction, hidden inside long nights. It teaches a man that control is stronger than any fight. So he listens to the room breathe, to the brushes on the drums, to the old guitar bending softly like a memory that refuses to leave. Soon he'll stand without a word, and the chair will stay behind. But the quiet weight he carried in will still be in air. Midnight walks into the barroom like an old familiar friend. Every chair and every shadow knows exactly where it ends. There's a man beside the counter with a patience in his eyes, like someone who stopped believing every beautiful disguise. He has seen the pride of daylight and the promises it makes, but the night reveals the difference between real and what it fakes. Years ago he fought the silence, now he welcomes what it shows, because midnight tells the truth that every quiet man soon knows. Midnight knows the truth that daylight hides away. Midnight knows the reasons why some men choose to stay. Midnight knows the stories written deep in older scars. Midnight knows the courage of the calm behind the bars. The sky will start to lighten and the city wakes again, but the truth he found tonight will stay with him till then. Every breath holds a name. Midnight leaning on the rain. Every corner holds a memory. Every step recalls a pain. I used to run with restless people, talking loud about their dreams. Now I walk the quieter highways where nothing's quite the way it seems. Some men shout about their way, some men fight to take the crown, but the road I chose was different, where the noise slowly breaks down. Every mile beneath these streetlights taught me things I couldn't fake, that the strongest men are often just the ones who never break. On these silent roads I wander, where the midnight softly flows. No applause for quiet travelers, only shadows that he knows. On these silent roads I wander, where the past fades in the night. Every step in quiet patience leads a man back to I've seen friendships turn to distance, I've seen love disappear too soon, but the calm inside my heartbeat still survives beneath the moon. So I keep my pace unspoken, let the city pass me by, because some men find their freedom when they stop asking why. On these silent roads I wander, where the midnight softly flows. No applause for quiet travelers, only shadows that he knows. On these silent roads I wander, where the past fades into night. Every step in quiet patience leads a man back to the light. Streetlights fade behind my footsteps, but the road is always mine. After the crowd is gone, the room finally exhales. Chairs stand still, the piano rests its hands, and the bartender lowers the lights. The night has changed its tone. A single man remains at the table, not because he has nowhere to go, but because quiet moments reveal more truth than loud ones ever did. The laughter that filled this room already belongs to the past, and the arguments have lost their importance. After the crowd is gone, the truth begins to show. After the crowd is gone, a man finally knows. After the crowd is gone, when the noise disappears, the quiet voice inside him is the only one he hears. He remembers younger nights when he chased excitement, when every moment demanded reaction. But time rearranges ambition. Now he prefers the calm, the kind can still light the darkness after the crowd is gone. The truth begins to show after the crowd is gone. A man finally knows after the crowd is gone. Under midnight skies, silence becomes the answer to questions he survived. Soon he'll stand and leave without drawing attention. Just another gentleman walking quietly back into the night. And the room will feel different, though no one saw him go. There's a place where all noise fades, where street and shadow blend, where a man can move with clarity without a need to defend. I walk toward a horizon where emotion stays contained, not suppressed, just mastered, not cold, just trained. Hey. Headlights sweep across the pavement, then disappear again. Temporary flashes in a long-term plan. I've learned not to respond to every spark or spark of pride, because permanence is built by those who can decide. At the vanishing point of the city lights, I make my quiet turns. No signal, no confession, just lessons hard earned. At the vanishing point of restless minds, I redraw the line. You don't see the shift, but it's mine. Night air sharpens focus, breathing steady and slow. The strongest kind of movement is the one you never show. I don't need a witness to validate my stride. Direction is internal when ego steps aside. Let them search for headlines, let them chase the spark. I prefer controlled combustion in the dark. At the vanishing point I turn away. No ceremony, no display. The loud will fade with morning light. I remain beyond the sight, just a lone figure crossing into deeper night, leaving only alignment behind. Candlelight leans across the table, amber resting in my hand. The room hums low in minor chords, soft drums like distant sand. I've learned to sit with silence, without the need to fill the air. A man who understands restrained doesn't advertise he's there. The loud rehearse their confidence, projected through the room. I let mine settle slowly, like smoke beneath the gloom. Every word I choose is measured, every pause intentional, because presence built on discipline is nearly dimensional. This is the discipline of quiet, the art of standing still, of holding storms behind the eye, through patience and through will. I move without announcement, no spectacle to deploy. The strongest kind of power makes no unnecessary noise. I've swallowed pride before it spoke, let ego lose its seat, because a calm and centered man is difficult to defeat. The guitar bends slow and thoughtful, like memory refined by time. I don't chase validation, my alignment is my sign. There is weight and composure in breathing slow and deep, in knowing what to answer and what to never keep. The candle burns lower, nothing in the room has changed, but something in me has aligned. But something in me has aligned. There's something in the silence between each guitar bend, a space where thoughts get sharpened and reactions learn to bend. The bar hums low and patient, glasses softly ring, but the loudest part of any song is not the singer, it's the in-between. I live inside those spaces where emotion doesn't spill, where discipline sits upright and impulse stands still. Candlelight paints gold edges on a face that doesn't rush. Some decisions don't need thunder, just a measured hush. Between the notes I move, unseen but aware. The world reacts in volume, I operate in care. Between the notes I choose which battles to decline. Silence is a strategy when timing is refined. Away from conflict that wanted me to ignite, but fire without direction just consumes the night. A man who governs temper outlives the heated room, because storms that scream the loudest often seal their doom. Listen close, power hides in restraint. The note fades, the silence remains. The note fades, the silence remains. The silence remains. Last train already gone, platform empty, humming low. Fluorescent lights flicker overhead, like thoughts I let go. Suitcase by my polished shoe, but I'm not going anywhere. Some departures happen inward. No ticket, no declared fare. Steel track stretch into darkness, parallel discipline straight. But I learned long ago, direction doesn't need applause to validate. Bass rolls under distant engine, guitar been slow and thin. I don't rush decisions anymore. I let clarity settle in. On this midnight platform, I stand without a sound. The loud chase destinations, I claim my ground. No dramatic exit, no visible flame, just a quiet recalibration no one can name. There was a time I bought it quickly, afraid of being left behind. Now I watch opportunity reveal their design. Patience is a private weapon, restrain a tailored suit. I move when movement matters, every action absolute. The city sleeps behind me, unaware I chose to become the kind of man who simply knows. Train lights vanish in the distance, silence settles again. Nothing changed for anyone else, but everything shifted within. The candle burns but never trembles, just steady in the draft, like a man who learned composure from the weight of aftermath. Guitar hums in amber circles, soft against the glass. I don't speak about the storms I've already let pass. Some men spark and fade in seconds, bright but quickly gone. I chose to be a lower flame, the kind that lingers on. You won't hear my history spilled across the bar, but every scar I carry rewrote who you think we are. Low flame character, burning deep inside. No need for wild reactions, no ego left to hide. Low flame character, calm but hard to break. The quietest man in any room, are the ones you shouldn't mistake. restrain its power when pressure fills the air. When others lose their posture, I simply stay aware. The drums brush slow behind me, like footsteps through the night. I don't chase control loudly, I just hold it tight. The flame burns low, still steady. The bar is almost empty now, just low light and a tune. I sit where shadows gather beneath a fading moon. Not every presence enters with spectacle or flame. Some alter the temperature without announcing their name. I've learned to speak in fewer words, let silence stretch between, 'cause meaning grows in space where noise has never been. The drums brush slow and patient, guitar bends like memory. There's gravity and stillness when you earn serenity. This is the weight of presence, unspoken but defiant. You feel it in the posture of a disciplined mind. This is the weight of presence, calm but intense. Power without volume, influence without pretense. Don't correct misunderstandings, don't chase every doubt. Clarity doesn't argue, it simply plays out. Some men fill a room with a noise, then vanish with the air. I remain long after, because restraint was there. When I stand, the room adjusts. No one knows exactly why. hangs like unfinished thoughts. Neon flicker, but I don't. I've been counting what can't be seen. Not the money, but what it means. Trust that doesn't bend or break. Choices only grown men make. I don't argue with the night. I just sit and let it write. Every scar across my hand is a line I chose to stand. The measure worth of noise and fame, I measure mine in what remains. When the room is stripped of pride and there's nowhere left to hide, every loss refined my tone, every fall carved deeper stone. Silence is a currency spent with care and dignity. I don't talk about the climb, I just move when it's time. No announcement, no decree, just quiet authority. Late night deals without a word. Respect is felt before it's heard. Eyes that scan, not for fear, but for truth that's standing near. I've seen loud men fade away, burn too fast, then decay. I prefer a steady flame, one that doesn't need a name. Whiskey low, collar straight, I don't rush, I calculate. Every breath of chosen pace, every step leaves no trace. You can keep your spotlight glow. I've got places I don't show. Power isn't what you claim, it's what remains without a name. Silence is my legacy, built on self-control and clarity. If you're searching for the throne, I've already built my own. In the quiet I became everything without the fame. No applause when I depart, just a heavier beating heart. Smoke drifts thin across the ceiling. The soft percussion mars the hour. There's elegance and hesitation when it's rooted in true power. I observe before engaging, let the moment fully land. Reaction is for impulse, strategy is for a man. Every choice I make tonight was considered days ago. You see calm across my features, you don't see the undertow. Bass hums deep beneath the surface, like decisions sealed in stone. The strongest moves are subtle and often made alone. Calculated grace in motion, no rush to intervene. The loud may chase attention, I master what's unseen. Calculated grace in silence, steady as a tide. There's power in containment when ego steps aside. Speaking far too soon. Patience builds advantage underneath the moon. So I let the room reveal itself, let patterns come to light. A man who studies shadows navigates the night. You call it quiet, I call it control. The candle flickers once, the candle flickers once, the candle flickers once, the candle flickers once. The room has long grown quieter, the laughter left the air. Only low light and reflections rest gently in my chair. I've seen men chase ovations like oxygen for pride, but applause is just a moment, then the echo has to hide. What matters is what lingers when the spotlight fades to black. When you're left with who you are and what you didn't lack. bass line steady underneath me, grounded, calm, precise. I've learned the cost of spectacle. It rarely pays twice. After the applause, who are you alone? Without the noise around you, without the borrowed tone. After the applause, do you still stand tall? Or did you build your empire on a temporary call? I prefer quite a legacy built without display, because presence forged in silence doesn't fade away. Emotion doesn't run me, it sits beside the wheel. I acknowledge every feeling, but I decide what's real. No curtain call, just alignment. City skyline breathing slow, concrete rivers far below. I stand above the restless glow, where fewer men will go. Wind presses against my collar, cool, precise way. Every risk I take these days is one I've learned to calculate. Neon flickers in the distance, buried ties and borrowed dreams. I've outgrown the hunger for attention's fragile beams. Guitar hums in minor tones like questions never asked. Confidence is built in silence, not in moving fast. The loud makes sudden movements, the quiet orchestrates. noise. A man who masters patience, controls the final choice. I don't fear the fall anymore. I fear impulsive rise. Success without foundation is just ego in disguise. Every step from here is measured, every partnership examined. Emotion sits behind the wheel, but discipline commands it. You won't hear the shift occur. You won't see the spark. Realignment happen in the dark. Below they chase reflections. Above I stand composed. One light on the top floor, building mostly black. The cleaning crew already gone, no audience to react. Tie loosened, sleeves rolled clean, paperwork aligned. Not chasing recognition, just refining the design. Clock ticks without emotion, time don't sympathize. You either build deliberately or get consumed by noise. Bass steady like my breathing, drums barely touch the air. There's a power in consistency most men never bear. 2 a.m. office light, quiet empire inside. While they sleep and talk tomorrow, I prepare tonight. 2 a.m. office light, no applause required. The loud burn out by morning, the discipline get hired. I've learned to detach from ego, detach from quick acclaim, because reputation built in silence outlasts a famous name. Emails never show the hours, contracts hide the grind, but foundations laid in darkness are the strongest you can find. Nobody claps for preparation, nobody sees restraint. But when the moment finally comes, precision never faints. Light switches off behind me, elevator hums down slow. City still asleep, but I know. Every city has found days hidden under stone, strength you never notice until it stands alone. I learned to build in darkness, lay structure out of sight. The loud construct illusions I construct at night. Blueprints in my memory, plans beneath the calm. I don't speak of what I'm shaping, I let results disarm. Drums barely touch the surface, bass steady and restrained. Real momentum doesn't tremble, it simply remains. I'm building silent architecture, brick by brick unseen. No flashing lights, no spectacle, just discipline between. I'm building silent architecture, where patience sets the tone, and when the structure rises, it will stand on its own. I walked away from arguments that offered nothing back. Energy is currency, and I don't waste it on tap. Some men chase quick victory, celebrate too fast. I invest in permanence, in something built to last. Night understands ambition that doesn't beg for light. Some of us were wired to operate at night. Silent on the texture, steady and profound. The strongest designs in history were loud. And when morning comes, they'll wonder how it rose without a sound. Midnight leans against the building, streetlights flicker, tired and thin. My footsteps trace a broken pavement where the noise of day has never been. A guitar bleeds through the silence, low and patient in my veins. Every note a quiet reminder, some victories don't make names. Windows glow like distant memories, behind curtains drawn too tight. Everyone fights their private battles. I just prefer mine out of sight. No raised voice, no restless movement, no need to prove control. The strongest shifts in any city happen deep inside a soul. I don't announce my intentions, I don't rehearse my plan. I let decisions drop in slowly before I move my hand. I move like shadows over asphalt lines, deliberate steps, no warning sign. The loud may chase their borrowed shine, but I build mine in the night. There's power in restraint, in knowing when to wait, in letting opportunities reveal their natural way. I've seen ambition self-destruct from speaking far too soon. Patience is a sharpened blade that cuts without a wound. Every street I cross remembers the man I used to be. Reactive, loud, impatient, chasing visibility. But growth don't scream for witnesses, it happens quietly. I move like shadows over asphalt lines, purpose in my quiet spine. Not every empire needs a sign. Some are built in the night. Street light fades behind me, city breathing slow. I leave no sound, no evidence, just a direction only I know. Only I know. Only I know. Only I know. You were missing, blame. You never stand at the edge of the brain. He never raised his voice in rage, never fought for center stage. When the room was filled with heat, he leaned back, crossed his feet. He watched empires rise and fall, never needed to stand tall, because height ain't measured loud, and strength don't beg a crowd. He lost things he won't explain, buried pride beneath the pain, folded grief inside his coat, never let it reach his throat. Some men break and make a sound, some just tighten up their crown. He never raised his voice, still the room respected his choice. Didn't threaten, didn't plead, didn't advertise his need. He moved slow, he moved wide. Steel was hidden in his eyes. betrayal knocked his door. He didn't pace across the floor. He just recalculated lines, cutting ties and silent signs. No revenge in what he planned, just distance drawn by steady hand. He understands the cost of war and what restraint is for. Candlelight reflects his face, years of discipline and grace. He doesn't rush to prove he's right, he just sleeps well at night. He knows storms will come again, but thunder doesn't shake that man. He never raised his voice, still he always had a choice. Walk away or stay and fight. He chose calm over might, and that's the kind of poise that never needs a noise. You won't hear him when he leaves, but you'll feel it when he's gone.
Wind slides down the avenue, cold collar raised high. Streetlights stretch long silhouettes under an indifferent sky. Guitar bends like distant sirens, but softer, more control. I've traded reaction for something cold to go. I don't interrupt the chaos, I let it pass me by. Observation builds a kingdom noise can't occupy. Every move I make tonight was chosen hours ago. Impulse lost its influence a long, long time ago. Cold street elegance, measured and refined. No sudden declarations, just a disciplined mind. Cold street elegance, purpose in disguise. The strongest force in motion, rarely advertised. Echo lightly, concrete doesn't care. But I built a reputation with the way I bear. Pressure without spectacle, conflict without flame. Because composure under tension outlives any name. Let them misunderstand me, let them speculate. Mystery is leverage when you operate. Cold street elegance, calm in every move. You don't need permission when you have nothing to prove. Just shadows folding inward as I disappear from view. Just shadows folding inward. As I disappear from view. Warm along the bleeding soft through the edges of the night. I've drawn plans inside my mind, far from public sight. Every setback became structure, every scar a beam. While they chased applause and credit, I redesigned the scheme. Candlelight reflects precision across a steady gaze. You don't see the architecture built across the years and days. No dramatic declarations, no theatrical display. Discipline became the language I speak without delay. Silent blueprint underneath the calm, framework forged in flame. You won't see it forming, but it's shaping the game. Silent blueprint, quiet design, patience as the key. The loud construct illusions I construct quietly. Every move tonight is anchored to something deeper still. Emotion doesn't lead me, alignment bends my will. The bar grows dimmer by the minute, but clarity grows bright. Some men shine in daylight, others own the night. Glass empty, decision intact, blueprints acute. The bar hums softly, lights dim and golden. I cradle my glass, watching ripples like distant memories. Guitar bends low,
Bass hum steady beneath it. Drums brush like rain, tapping on a silent window. I think of the life I navigate quietly. Every victory understated, every struggle contained. The conversations flow by, I nod politely. Yet no one senses the deliberation behind my eyes. A stranger laughs, the sound light but fleeting. I trace the movement of shadows along the wall. I remember yesterday, the choices I made, all weighed, all silent, all unseen. I tilt my glass, feeling the warmth linger. The candle flickers in reflection, a private stage. I am here yet not, a presence felt not seen. A gentleman holding the night in his hands. As the hour wanes, I rise slowly. The chair slides without protest, leaving no mark. Outside the world moves unaware. Inside I carry calm intensity, discretion. I don't rush into conclusions, I let the night explain. I've seen fast men lose direction, chasing temporary gain. My shoes know every corner, my hands know when to wait. I don't fight my inner hunger, I negotiate. No panic in my breathing, no fear in my tone. I learned the art of leaving without feeling alone. I make slow decisions with a steady mind. No revisions once the line is drawn in time. I don't look back for approval, I don't ask for consent. Every move is surgical, every second well spent. Street clocks lie about the hour, time bends when you're calm. I felt weakness turn to power when I stopped sounding the alarm. I don't drink to forget, I sip to remember. Every loss I've ever made made my silence colder. I
make slow decisions. No applause, no sign, no collisions with what's already mine. I don't explain my method, I don't soften my stance. I just walk the path I measured and let life dance. Taste is a language I don't speak. Desperation ain't my style. I've learned patience from the weak and restrained from denial. Still waters, heavy soul, every step reinforced. I don't lose control, I become the force. Morning tries to catch my back, but I'm already gone. Another choice perfectly intact before the dawn. I make slow decisions, that's how I survive. No permission, just a quiet drive. If regret comes knocking, it won't recognize my face. I was already walking at my own pace. Slow steps, no regrets. Slow steps, no regrets. I walk the streets where the city exhales, neon reflection tracing my trail. The night is heavy, thick with thought. Every step deliberate, every lesson taught. Windows glow with stories I can't tell. Faces drift past like a passing bell. I move unnoticed, a shadow in grace. A man who treads softly, leaving no trace. Silent horizon, I chase the night. No need for noise, I follow the light. Every move measured, every breath mine. I move in silence through space and time. Warm bass hums like a heartbeat low. Electric strings weep with a subtle glow. Drums whisper like rain on the stone. I take the night as my very own. Every corner holds secrets, quiet and deep. I walk alone, yet the city keeps its pulse, its rhythm, but I remain a moving enigma in the midnight rain. Silent horizon, I chase the night. No need for noise, I follow the light. Every move I space and time. The dawn arrives, the shadows fade. A man in the night, a path he made. Every step a story, every breath a vow. I walk where the city doesn't know how. The lights are dim, the air is thick. I move like a thought, subtle and slick. I see the noise, I see the lies. I'm moving quiet, I analyze. Nothing escapes the man in the shade. Every choice deliberate, every move made. Silent steps, a life unseen. I roam the night, calm, serene. No applause, no eyes to meet, just the rhythm of my own heartbeat. Shadow steps, a life unseen. I roam the night, calm, serene. No applause, no eyes to meet, just the rhythm of my own heartbeat. Electric strings hum my mood, bass and drums in a quiet interlude. I walk alone, but I am free, a man of purpose, silently. Through empty streets, through midnight rain, I carry my past, I carry my pain, but I move forward, steady aware, a gentleman living in the cool night air. Silent steps, a life unseen. I roam the night, calm, serene. No applause, no eyes to meet, just the rhythm of my heart. Silent steps, a life unseen. I roam the night, calm, serene. No applause, no eyes to meet, just the rhythm of my heartbeat. Shadows fade, dawn will rise, but I will move unseen, wise.
He walked home slower in the rain,
Not because he was weak, but because rushing never explains what silence speaks. The street accepted every drop without complaint. He learned something watching water stop and start again. Rain doesn't care about your plans or where you fail. It treats the poor and wealthy hands unveiled. He loosened his collar, breathed in deep, let the night decide. A man who learns how not to keep everything inside. Shoes soaked through, thoughts ran clear. Funny how that works, discomfort makes the truth appear. Without the perks, he passed the bar where jazz still played. Behind wet glass, another version of himself stayed in the past. Some men fight the weather, some men walk with it. Rain stitched the city back together, crack by crack. He stopped replaying every error, every lack. A man doesn't need to be dry to be whole. Sometimes you let the storm pass by through your soul. He ran too fast, trying to arrive. Rain taught him nothing lasts but the drive. No witnesses, no confession, no plea. Just a man learning progression quietly. By the time he reached his door, the rain went light, like it had nothing left to pour tonight. He stood there wet, calm, aware, breathing slow. Some lessons only meet you there, you know. He walked home slower in the rain, in the rain. Night falls around the jazz, dim and moan, candlelight catching the edges of my thoughts. Guitar breeze bass hum steady. Drum bursts off, every note a companion to my quiet reflection. I hold my drink, contemplate choices and losses, every struggle handled without display. The world rushes, unaware of the calm intensity here. I move with subtle purpose, every motion delivery. Their stories feeding, I absorb magic, navigate silently. The music and shadows carry me deeper. The gentleman folded breath and yet unseen. When the last candle fades, step lightly in the streets that seem oblivious, no trace left behind, no announcement made, only the soft pen print of quiet resolve. But now the trees, but I remain a man moving in silence, deliberate, discreet, intense. Every night is a lesson, every step a choice. I move in the quiet, guided by my voice. Though the city hums with noise and light, I navigate softly, embracing the night. Eyes wide, but never truly see the depth of calm, the complexity. I make my moves, deliberate control, a story of strength, quietly told, silent decision the world doesn't know. I shade my light where the shadows grow, no need for words, my path is clear. I walk in silence without fear, without fear. The soulful guitar cuts through the night. Warm bass like a heartbeat, steady and right. Drums whisper like rain on the street. I move, I breathe in perfect beat. Life unfolds loud and fast, but I linger, observe, make moments last. A man in control, yet unseen. A lone figure, calm and keen. Silent decision, the world doesn't know. I shape my life where the shadows grow. No need for words, my path is clear. I walk in silence without fear, without fear. I remain awake, a man in the night, leaving no mistake. I'll stand still when things collapse. Watch the truth reveal. Painted leaf fingerprints. Stillness lets you heal. I've seen chaos sell its soul for attention and relief. I chose another road. I chose disbelief. I don't justify my calm, I don't dramatize pain. I learned how to stay warm inside the rain. Stillness is my alibi. I don't run, I don't hide when questions multiply. I let silence decide. No trembling confession, no nervous disguise. I stay in my position and let the lies die. Neon lights accuse the rain. Cars whisper by. I watch men go insane, trying to deny. I don't defend my action, I don't rewrite my path. I accept the reaction, let it pass. Stillness is my alibi, no witness, no sound. I don't testify, just stand my ground. No need to convince, no need to persuade. I don't offer a defense, I let time fade. Fear sweats, calm breathes, that's how you tell. Truth doesn't plead, it doesn't sell. I don't flinch under fire, I don't bend to demand. I just quietly retire with clean hands. Another hour dissolves, I remain unchanged. Some men evolve by revolt. I evolved by restraint. Stillness is my alibi, that's how I walk free. I don't clarify, I just let them see. If guilt comes searching, it won't recognize me. I was never moving for them to see. Still and untouchable. Still and untouchable. He carried himself like a decision already made and lived. No hesitation in his vision, no need to forgive. The bar reflected him in parts. Glass never shows the whole. He'd stitched himself from broken stars into control. Some men confuse silence with fear. He knew the cost. He'd paid attention year by year and lost enough illusions to stand still without collapsing. Stillness is a practice skill worth mastering. A couple laughed 2 stools away. He smiled, not bitter. Joy isn't loud when it's real, they say. It's quieter. He folded pain the way you fold a jacket clean, not hiding it, just keeping hold of what it means. He didn't speak. He arrived. When he stood, the room adjusted without a sound. Presence doesn't need to be trusted, it's found. The door closed gentle behind his back. No need to rush, a man like that doesn't crack. He hushes. He carried himself, and that was enough.
He didn't wait for the bartender, just rested his palm on the wood. And that already framed tender, like I knew he would. Candlelight leaned toward his glass, as if to listen close.
Some men drink to forget the past. He drank to notice. The room moved slow intentionally, like it was holding breath. He sat there with responsibility, not flirting with death. That slid through brush drums and bass, like advice never forced. He learned patience leaves a trace where panic destroys. He remembered when choices screamed, demanding to be made. Now decisions came quiet and clean and stayed. He lost the urge to chase relief or outrun regret. He trusted weight, not belief, or threats. Some melody noise out of time. The bartender nodded, nothing said. Respect needs no display. He paid for what he already read in himself that day. Outside, the street made room for him, like it always does. A man who's learned to live within moves us. He ordered time and finished it slowly.
I sit at the corner of the bar, candlelight painting my thoughts. Every string of the guitar hums a story I cannot tell. The air smells faintly of smoke and varnish. Time slows, the night breathing with me. I reflect on the day, the choices hidden, moments where patience was my companion, silence my ally, every glance I offered, every word I withheld, measured, considered, deliberate.
The bartender hums a tune, a soft brush on drum. It aligns with the rhythm of my pulse. I sense the shadows leaning in, observing. Yet I am unshaken, grounded, calm. I let the night carry me through its quiet corridor. No display, no need for recognition. A gentleman navigating internal storms with a presence that whispers without a sound. Music fades, the candle dies down, and I ride coat in hand, leaving softly. The bar keeps its secrets, and I'm mine. Both disappear into the night together. Every alley hums with stories untold. I walk through darkness, silent and bold. The city breathes, but I remain a man who moves without a claim. Neon flickers reflecting face. I take each step with measured pace. The world roars, but I am still a shadow with iron will. The night knows my name, though none do. I move through silence, a path true. Every heartbeat guides me along. I am the quiet, the unseen song. Bass vibrates like a pulse in my chest. Guitar moans softly, letting me rest. Drums whisper like secrets untold. I move with precision, quiet and bold. No one notices, no one sees the life I carve in the midnight breeze. I am the calm, the shadow, the hand, a gentleman walking across the land. The night knows my name, though none do. I move through silence, a path true. Every heartbeat guides me along. I am same song. Dawn comes, I am gone. A silent journey, moving on. You sat where time slowed down, near the back away from proof. No need to guard a fragile crown, no need to chase the truth. Jazz curled softly around his glass, like it had known him long. Some men move built for fast, he moved strong. His hands had learned when not to shake, his eyes had learned to delay. He knew the difference patience makes when stakes are high to pay. He didn't flinch at laughter loud or jealousy nearby. A man who's made his peace with doubt lets moments die. The past sat quietly beside him, didn't ask for more. He buried it but didn't hide it under the floor. Some men negotiate with fear, some men deny. He learned how to let it sit right here and dry. Presence doesn't shout, it remains. A woman passed perfume and grace, he didn't turn his head. Desire's just another place where discipline goes dead. He paid the tab, he stood up straight, adjusted to the night. Time remembered how to wait till he was out of sight. Time resumed only after he left. Time resumed only after he left. Candlelight dances across amber liquid. Guitar hums low, bass flowing beneath, drums brush softly, a gentle heartbeat. I sit, a quiet presence, observing all. Segment 2, contemplation, decisions made in private, struggles handled unseen, every breath deliberate, every thought measured. Life outside rushes, oblivious to my pace. I'm moving calm intensely, fully composed. Segment 3, observation. The bartender hums softly, wiping a glass. Strangers laugh, smoke curls upward in lazy spirals. I absorb everything without intrusion. A gentleman moving quietly, intensely, deliberately. Segment 4, in a monologue, every gesture reflects careful consideration. Every heartbeat aligns with the rhythm of thought. Candlelight mirrors my quiet resolve. Each flicker, a silent testament to inner discipline. Segment 5, exit. The bar empties, the night stretches outward. I rise, coat over arm, vanish into streets asleep. A subtle presence felt but unseen. A man moving in deliberate, calm silence. Calm silence. Walk where eyes fail to see, through empty streets, completely free. The night is thick, the air profound. I move in silence, without a sound. The city hums, unaware of me. I watch, I listen, I let it be. Each movement measured, each choice discreet. A life in shadows, quiet and complete. The invisible man, moving alone through smoky nights, a path my own. No one notices, no one knows the life I lead as the night flows. Guitar hums warm, bass holds the ground. Drums tick soft, a subtle sound. Every heartbeat, a note in my song. I move through night, where I belong. No need for eyes, no need for praise. I carve my journey through smoky haze. The streets are mine, the night my friend. I walk in silence until the end. The invisible man, moving along. smoky nights are past my own. No one notices, no one knows the life I lead as the night flows. The sun will rise and disappear, a lone shadow, no one near. I settle into a chair with a lamp light barely reaches. The bar around me quiet, alive only in summer chromes. Guitar stretches notes like smoke, curling in the air. Drums brush soft, soft as my thoughts. I sip slowly, tasting more than the whiskey. Tasting decisions, weighing consequences silently. No one sees the internal storms I navigate. No applause for the quiet resilience I hold. Candlelight reflects on polished wood, catching my silhouette. A gentleman and moving yet fully alive in the night. Every glance, every breath calculated, intentional. I exist quietly, intensely, purposefully. World outside holds, but here I am composed, a master of subtlety, moving the loud display. Patrons chatter and fade, music comes low. Eyes orb, I reflect, I measure each internal tide. When the night ends, I rise gently, cold over my arm. life over a man who moves in silence.